Welcome back to E-Rock the brand. Hi, my name is Eden Lee Middleman, your favorite dating and sex coach. I do one-on-one coaching, so if you want more information on that, check out my website. It will be linked in the description. I do have a Cameo as well, so if you want little advice videos sent directly to you privately for you, send me your scenario and I will get on with that. Today's episode is going to be maybe slightly chatty. And I know already the different types of feedback I might have on this, because I'm going to start by saying a little something, okay? A personal story, perhaps, about how I've never been a side piece in my life, how I've never been caught in casually dating unless that's what I wanted, how I never signed up for something I thought it was one way, but then it really was something else. You know, like I never was in that position. And I made a TikTok on this. It's not because I'm the hottest, smartest, best thing in the world. It has nothing to do with me, thinking I'm above everybody else or thinking that, I really was never a side piece, but maybe I was. I'm not delusional. If I was, I could give you guys information on that and utilize that story to even further my argument. But I wasn't. No guy that's interested in casually dating would ever look at me unless I was in that mode and vibe. And those are what my intentions were at the time that I went on a date with a guy, or the time that I hung out with people or met people, whatever the case may be. I wasn't always a seriously dating kind of girl, but I did always end up in long-term relationships. I was in a relationship for like 5-6 years, another one for like 2, and another one for like 3. I've been in long relationships, okay, ever since I was young. And that's because I normally like to intentionally date. If I'm going to commit to one person, I'm going to really commit to that person, or I'm going to give it my all. And it just turns out to be what happens. I never actually thought that I was a serious kind of girl when it came to dating, because I was pretty free and open and, like sexually in tune with myself and was comfortable with that stuff. And I was like, fuck, I just want to casually date too. It never really worked out for me. I always ended up in relationships. No guy that didn't want a relationship would go on a date with me. Like all the guys that I dated, even if they were ex-fuckboys, ended up wanting a relationship. I was thinking about this because I see a lot of my friends, a lot of my clients are contacting me about this. I mean, this topic is pretty dated at this point, but this generation is full of just casual daters. That's all everyone does, thanks to dating apps, which can be great, but also can be absolute shit. Instagram, social media, whatever. That has made everything so much more casual to see naked people, thanks to porn, the porn industry, and as well as social media and people making money doing that stuff. Things have just become so nonchalant, so casual. Sex is not a big deal anymore. Everyone's just fucking, and you can meet someone one night and just go home with them. I'm not saying that there's necessarily something so wrong with that. If you are a grown, smart individual who is being safe and, making these calls for themselves, then by all means do what you want to do. It's not like I haven't done those things either. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you on my high horse. As I've gotten older, though, my thoughts and feelings on casually dating has obviously changed. Not because, even if I wasn't in a relationship, it's not because of, commitment or marriage or things like that my thoughts and feelings on that have changed. It's more so the fact that I don't want to waste my time. And I've grown into myself, and I, have learned to love myself more and more as the years have gone by. And I've built my confidence, and I've spent so many years struggling with my confidence that now that I'm, pretty comfortable with who I am for the most part, I'm not going to let someone ruin that, or I'm not going to let someone have that, because a stranger doesn't deserve that privilege, right? Somebody who looks at me as like, somebody casual, someone to sleep with. I'm just not interested in that, unless I'm in that headspace. But as I've gotten older, like I said, that's changed, because honestly, I can fuck myself better than you probably can. That's the truth. So you learn that, right, with experience and through the years and with time. And obviously your morals, your values, your thoughts and ideas change. And that's obviously okay, right? Like we all change. That's fine. We can have our phases. We can have our stages. But for the people that are here, that you're listening to this, you're watching this, and you're like, how the fuck can I stop this casual dating epidemic? Like, how can I stop being involved in that? I want to tap the fuck out. I didn't sign up for this. Why am I here? Here's what I'm going to say. You don't have a big backbone. I want it to be large and in charge, okay? I want it to be thick. And your backbone is you standing for you. It's the security guard of you. It's the person that's, energetically standing outside of your body and saying yes or no. I will go on another date with you, or no, I won't. Or, you know what? You're not texting me appropriately. So that's a fuck no. Where are your morals and your values? If you don't want to casually date, then why are you allowing yourself to casually date? Well, I didn't know why he said one thing, and don't be stupid. Stop listening to people's words. I've always said this. Watch how they move. Because it's not hard to say the right things. Words are just words. They're only validated by action, right? This is what I stand for. So I'll tell you how I never became a side piece. I don't flinch at words. I don't flinch at showy people. I don't flinch at, a hot guy across the street. There needs to be more. Just like I don't want him to flinch if he thinks I'm attractive. I want him to also be like, selective. Maybe I'm a piece of shit on the inside, right? Like, I don't want you to accept me if I'm below you. And yes, I will say below you. I will say that there is a hierarchy. And this is something I never shied away from. It might not be politically fucking correct, and it might not make you all feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, you little sensitive pieces of shit. Like, I'm sorry. It's just not reality. You're going to tell yourself that you are intentionally dating. And if somebody walks into your life, or if you're in a dating app, or if somebody's hitting on you, don't gush at compliments. Don't be easy. Now, don't be a bitch, right? Guy or girl. Don't be a challenge on purpose. But be like, okay, so great. They look good. And what? You have to have standards, right? And your standards will be birthed from your morals and values. And if you don't know what those are, that's why you're casually dating. You have no idea the core you. You don't know what you want. You don't know who you are. Now, what you want, do not list to me 5 million things that you want in a man or in a woman, because that's fictitious, all right? You don't even meet that criteria half the time, so shut the fuck up. When I speak about not being a side piece and not casually dating and not being caught in something that you didn't sign up for, you have to make sure that it's clear by the way that you move. If they text you last minute for a date, you don't go. If they, are like out at a club and they're sloppy and they're drunk and they're hitting on you, why are you giving them your number? Like, this is what they're showing you who they are on the weekend. Yeah, we all have our bad days, whatever, but don't pretend like this is the exception to the rule. Okay, it's not. It's so funny how you're so positive and whimsical with other people, but with yourself, you're not. It's kind of wild. Like, your life goals and dreams, you're like, I can't do that. I can't do that. But like this guy, you give all the fucking excuses in the world. You paint this whole fairy tale picture. You guys are absurd. And I know that you've heard this from me, but I have to remind you. Just because this generation doesn't know how to love, okay, doesn't know how to commit, doesn't mean you have to be a part of that. Because there are many people out there in this world that want the same things that you do. You are not that special. I say this in almost every video about self-love, about dating. Okay, there's 8 billion people on the planet. There is somebody else out there for you. You sit there and you mope about all the negatives of dating. The truth is, you're following suit, right? You say, well, if I can't beat them, I might as well join them. You can understand the game and you can utilize that to your advantage. You shouldn't fall for these tricks if you know that this is what they do. You shouldn't accept bare minimum behavior, right? At the first red flag, at the first, weird comment, at the first yellow flag, at the first 50-50 comment on the bill, if that's not what you want, why do you give him a second chance? Why do you give her a second chance? It's not being cold. It's not being, a bitch. And you don't have to be rude about that. You can respectfully decline in order to love yourself and respect yourself. That's all that you not casually dating does, okay? If you do not want to casually date, then you need to have enough respect and enough self-love for yourself to not allow anything that falls under that category. What does casually dating look like to you? Do you have a definition for that? Months of, talking, fucking, hanging out, and no title. So why do you do that? Why do you wait for the title? Within a month, 2 months, or the minute you start to feel, is this casually dating? You say, hey, listen, Johnny. Hey, listen, Brittany. I'm interested in intentionally dating. I don't want to do none of this casual shit. And you know what? Like, I don't know if that's what you're on or not. It's cool if you are. It's been great. Bye. Grace, class. I've said this. This is all that you need to do. Stand up for yourself. Don't sit there and have a whole conversation and grill them. If they're giving a yes, no answer, be like, okay. That means no. If they're flimsy with their dates, if they're not pursuing you, if they're not putting in effort, if they're not texting you properly, not waiting 17 hours, like, shut up. You're not like fucking God, okay? Like, I don't know, where's your phone? You're glued to your fucking phone. Don't give them excuses. Don't give anyone excuses, okay? You want somebody who has the same morals and values? Are they acting like you? No, ciao. Yeah, you're not going to find the clone of you. You don't want to date somebody exactly like you, okay? Don't take this so fucking literally. I already know what you guys are going to say. You being pretty abrasive with your boundaries, right? And being like, yep, nope, will protect you from ever casually dating. Honestly, that's the key. He's scared to go out in public with you. She doesn't want to introduce you to her friends or family or whatever after a few months. There's something wrong with that. And they're going to pull a story out of their ass about how, oh, I don't want you to see that, or I don't want you to judge me, or nah. If they actually see a future with you, they won't care if you judge them or not. They'll know that you won't judge them if they know you and if you're not like that. Do you know what I mean? They would know. Okay, unless you guys are children and stupid. But grown-ass people won't pull those fucking things. This is who I am, take it or leave it. That's a real-ass person. You guys fall for all of those excuses that prolong, you two doing God knows what with no title. And then you get fucked over and you're like, what? How did I get here? You allowed it. Unfortunately, the reason why you casually date is because you allow it. I've never allowed it. And if I do want to just fuck around or whatever, I do it for, quick time, a few weeks, and I'm out. And I make it be known, and I'm respectful about it. Respectfully, we're done. Whatever this was. Because I don't want to say it doesn't need to get complicated. Great. We both served each other's purpose. Let's move on. We can, maintain civil and be good. There's no drama here at all. And then clean cut. That's it, guys. Why is it rocket science? I get paragraphs. I get Bibles. Fuck. I sit there and I read some of them and I'm like, I don't understand. Are you guys joking? Are you joking me? Are you really stupid? Okay, there's no way you're that dumb because I don't know how you would be functioning day to day in society. How are you guys falling for this shit? How did I never fall for this shit? This was before I was a dating coach. This was before I read books. This was before, it just wasn't me. I'm just like, no, I'm nothing impresses me that much. You know what I mean? Like if I could do it for myself, then like what makes you special kind of thing, And guys and girls, this goes for both. The truth is, guys, if they liked you, you would know that they liked you. There was interest. Okay? And there would be consistency. Consistency is your biggest indicator as to whether or not somebody is deceiving you and lying to you and saying they want something serious, but like really not. If they're consistent about how they pursue you, okay, over the first 1 or 2 months, then you know that maybe there's something there. But also somebody who really wants you, a guy or a girl, there'll be some pressure there, right? They'll be pressed to make sure that you two end up with a title. And if you're one of those people that are like, oh, titles complicate things. Like, okay, first of all, you're probably too young to date. Go do your homework. Get off the computer. I'm going to tell your parents. Where are the parental controls on your fucking computer? Because if you're still about that no titles bullshit, I'm so fucking sorry. Then good luck to you. You will be forever a side piece, forever a casual dater. You think I ever forced a title? I just said, if this isn't what I want, that's cool. Ciao, mi amor. It's always like that. Look out for yourself. Respectfully. You don't have to be a bitch to the other person, but you lay down the goddamn law and you give them an out. So there's no hard feelings. You look cool, you look secure, and you look like you know what the fuck you want, which is hot, right? You ask anybody, what's one of the hottest qualities that's not sexual? Somebody that knows what they want and knows who they are and are unapologetically them. So what the fuck are you doing? This is great practice for your confidence, for self-love, for respect, self-respect that you obviously need to learn. Because if you loved and respected yourself and cared for yourself, honestly, you wouldn't be able to be a part of the games. You would get sick of it after, one little whiff of it. Ooh, I'm sensing something. Okay. No, bye. Bye. You guys think you're in love. You guys think that this one person's so hot, so cool, so special. We get each other. You don't get each other if that person doesn't get the fundamentals of fucking you. You understand? I've heard this excuse so many times. You are a liar to yourself. Wake up. It might not be what you want to hear, but that doesn't mean that it's not the right decision if it's not what you want to hear. What you want versus what you need. What's right versus what's wrong. Guys, it might feel better to do the wrong thing, right? To take the easy way out, to lie to yourself. But at the end of the day, who gets fucked? At the end of the day, it becomes more of a mess. There's a saying, what's cheap gets expensive. So you might be taking the cheap way out, the easy way out, deceiving yourself, lying, seeing if this is actually something, trying to convince them that you are the one, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, it gets expensive, baby. Your time, your energy, and then you end up heartbroken again. again. And your girlfriends and buddies are so sick of your bullshit. Like, wake up, switch up. Come on. If it's not working, you got to do something else, right? Because what you've been doing is not working. So what you've been doing is not going to ever work for you. When you don't have boundaries or non-negotiables and things like that that you adhere to, it's like your law. It's like your Bible, okay? When you don't have that, it's very easy to get swayed by somebody else. Somebody else can say, well, we're having fun and I really like you. And obviously it takes time to get to know somebody and blah, blah, blah. I have a question. Putting a title in dating, if you fall into that excuse, right? Like, oh, we should take time to get to know each other, whatever the case may be. Dating is part of that. Do you think you're going to, hold on. So this is how it works. You're telling me this is how it works. We have to get to know each other. So let's spend 5 years with no title and then maybe you're going to date me. What the fuck? Bitch, you don't even know the man that you marry at the end of the day because we constantly change. What the fuck are you talking about? Do our core fundamentals align? Is this what we both want? Do we want to make it work? Do we want to explore that? Do we want to take that risk for one another? Do we want to be exclusive out of respect to one another? Do we want to give this a real chance? If yes, then that's what we do. If not, then we don't do that. Anybody else that says otherwise is a fucking manipulative liar and you're falling for it because you're an idiot or because you don't have a good set of boundaries and non-negotiables. And quite frankly, you don't respect yourself if you don't know that and if you don't adhere to it. Like I've said 17 million times at this point. Get this tattooed on your fucking forehead. Don't ever make someone your priority if you are their goddamn option. If you are an option, if you are I'm not sure, if your place in their life is uncertain, confusing, you're constantly confused, don't ever make them a priority. Don't ever pour in more energy. You're done. That's your answer. Because if you continue to do this, you will end up a fucking side piece. You'll be casually dating, casually confused. You'll just be casually stupid. Honestly, that's what you are. You are all casually stupid. Don't engage more than you already have. This is another huge thing I want you guys to understand. Bad attention is still attention, period. Arguing with them and trying to have them understand what me and you are talking about right now, what you're listening to and what you're probably writing down and then going to regurgitate to your fucking loser person. Don't text them this. They don't understand this. They don't want to understand this. Actually, they probably do understand this. They just don't want you. So for you to sit there and embarrass yourself and put energy into somebody that obviously doesn't give a fuck about you is, again, another way of harming your self-love and self-respect and making sure you get heartbroken. You're like ensuring that. You're solidifying that. We don't engage. That's how I've never been a side piece. I don't engage. I don't need to teach you what your mommy failed to teach you. Honestly, let that sting, let that hurt. I don't give a shit. I don't ever take a man and mold him to be mine. I don't. I inspire him to be better. Fuck yeah, I do. To be with me, it's not easy. All right. I've never said it was. But I've got standards that I've had men meet in my life, and I know it's possible to meet. So if a man comes into my life and can't meet it, ciao. Right? And if I can't meet his, I hope he tells me to go get the fuck out. Like, truthfully. Fair is fair. That's how it works. It's not a guy versus girl, girl versus guy. It doesn't matter. Stop being on dating apps all fucking day. That's what dating apps are. Dating apps are pretty fucking casual. It's like a meat market. We're just swiping. Now, I've had success on dating apps. The man I live with and I've been dating for, a few years already. I met on a goddamn dating app when I wanted to casually date, actually. So here's the thing. I never closed the book on anything. I always kept things open, right? And it just so happened that, right timing, right person, blah, blah, blah. Great. But sitting on dating apps all day is you casually flicking through a catalog of people and trying to shoot your shot at random people. We have to be more intentional. So if you want to intentionally date, the way you date has to be intentional, meaning how you use a dating app has to be intentional. I'm not saying throw the dating apps out unless you feel like you're really abusing them. Then yes, time out, you need a break, delete it. Get off of it. Deactivate your account. Honestly, everything. The whole 9 yards. The way you use dating apps should be intentional. I go on there for a few minutes. I like what I need to like, or I respond to the people that I'm interested in responding to. I put effort into that, and that's it. I've done my part. That's all I can do. And if I'm reading someone's vibe and things are good, guy or girl, exchange numbers, get off the app. That's the goal. Once you get off the app, if plans are not made within a week or 2 weeks of texting, you're moving on. There's not enough pressure there. There's not enough tension, stress, and it has to be a two-way street. Try and show them that you're interested. Ask about when you're making plans, without seeming too desperate. Obviously, there's different ways you can go about that. I'm not going to get into how to do that right now. And if they're not giving you anything back or like coming back with like concrete dates or ideas, then bye. That's it. If they're not matching your energy, then they don't want your energy. You understand? They're not on the same energy wavelength here. You guys, it's a lot more simpler than it is. You complicate it yourself because it's a more interesting story in your head. Makes you feel less uncomfortable, right? Oh, well, maybe he or she's going through like a really difficult time. Or maybe like something happens. Or maybe... Why? Is it hard to say that they just don't want to fuck with you? You're going to cry about that? Sorry. You can't always get what you want. Work on that as well. Not every person that you see, you can, point your finger and say, you're mine. Do you like me? Come, let's go date. No, it doesn't work that way. You have preferences. If someone pointed at you and said, you're mine, would you be okay with it? No. So same goes for the other way around, guys. You're not always going to hit what you want to hit. You're not always going to score. It's just not going to happen all the time. And that's okay. It's not your person. Thank you very much. This is a great filtration process. I love this word. I say it all the time. You guys already know this concept. The way things move is just life filtering shit out for you. It doesn't work out with him. Trust me, it's because you were not meant to be with him. I want you to give yourself a time limit, okay? And I've said this before. After 1.5 months, 1 month, depending on how often you see this person, if there is no title, you're done. That's it. We don't engage. We move on. That prevents you from casually dating. Very simple. Having a time limit there. Okay? If this person's not interested enough to like put a label and give it a shot, which is what dating is. You're not fucking signing up for marriage, you dumb fucks. I don't know why you're so scared of dating. It's just because you're a hoe. It's just because you want to casually date. People who are scared of putting a title on is because people will come up with a story. I've been hurt so many times. All right. Go to therapy. Solve your problems. Don't be out here trying to date then. Don't be out here tainting the fucking dating pool, motherfucker. Like, we don't want that. Bye. Okay, you got a lot of issues. I do too, but I'm not here bleeding onto you. So ciao. It's not being cold. Stop taking fixer-uppers and then fixing them, and then they tell you to go fuck off, and then they date your best friend, and then you're back to square one. You understand? You guys do way too much for people that do nothing for you. If anything, they just deplete you. So keep that in mind. Time limit, effort-wise. Do they match your frequency and energy? Are you acting like a casual dater and then wondering why you end up casually dating? Sometimes it's right in front of you and you can't even see it. Last but not least, try not to open your legs as often. Guys and girls. Guys, listen to this. My man didn't pull a move on me like the first few times we hung out at all. And I'm so used to guys pulling a move like right off the fucking bat that I was in shock. I was like, what the fuck? But it was so hot. It was intriguing to me. And for the first time ever, I was like almost pursuing him in a way, which is so out of character for me. But that was just his move. That was his smart move to make sure that I took him a little bit more seriously, that he stood out from the crowd if I was dating other people. And he didn't know at the beginning. Ladies, if you don't sleep with him on the first date, second date, third date, he's going to take you seriously or he's going to drop you, which is great. So you already know his intentions. It's not a game. Okay, if you want to fuck around, then go casually date. But if you're watching this episode, if you're watching this video and listening to this episode, you don't want to casually date. So don't sleep around. Yeah, people are like weird about that. Like, it sounds so old fashioned. But there's truth to it, is there not? Back in the day, people used to date. And it wasn't casual dating central. It wasn't casually datingville everywhere. There's some traditional aspects that still hold weight and make sense and work that have been lost in today's day and age. And that's why everyone's casually dating, because, it's a fucking free-for-all here. There's truth to it. Guys will take you seriously. You will take yourself seriously. You won't think you're in love because you fucked him. And women, we release oxytocin and dopamine when we have sex. And for us women, that's our love hormone. And we sometimes get confused with emotions after sex. We think that we really love them more than we do. We like them more than we do, right? It's like an actual brain chemical situation that we're experiencing, and it's very challenging. And if you're one of those girls that falls in love after you fuck, which I know is the vast majority of you girls, we're not doing that, right? We're switching up things to prevent us from being at the place we've been in and have been dealing with for way too long. I hope this helped you. This was just a few tips and tricks, a few things I want you guys to think about. I want you to implement. I want you to really be more strict with yourself. I want you to observe yourself and ask questions, okay? Think twice before you act on anything, before you give anybody attention. Really reevaluate you, what you want, what your morals, your values, your non-negotiables, your boundaries are. I want you to protect yourself. I want you to stand up for yourself in a respectful way. There's no need to be rude to others, because if you truly love yourself and if you truly are a healthy person, you're not going to be an asshole to other people. Okay? Assholes are the most insecure, miserable little fucking bitches. That's the truth. So don't be out here saying, oh, so conceited, narcissistic behavior, you dismissing people. No, it's not. What, being selective? I have to allow every random fucking loser to come up and I have to give them a chance? They owe me nothing. I owe them nothing. It's that simple. Same playing field here. I just got to be respectful and protective of myself and take care of myself, because I worked so hard to be this person. And I'm capable of being in relationships and being loved because I have people around me that love me and all that stuff. Look at that stuff, guys. I love you guys. You got this. Save this video, share this video, watch it with the girls, with the boys, analyze it, do what you need to do, take fucking notes. Don't forget to give this video on YouTube a thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell for the notifications so you don't miss more of these types of videos. Leave a comment. Let me know how you enjoyed this, what you liked about it, any tips and tricks that maybe you can share to the rest of the community that's going through this very same journey. And if you're listening to the podcast, you guys already know 5 large and in charge stars, please, and follow the podcast. Follow it so I can keep doing this. Take care of yourselves, get to work, and we'll speak soon.